This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview.
Joining us today is Mark Sale, the CEO of First Class Metals, following news on further high-grade assay results from the West Pickle Lake. That is, of course, the earning joint venture with Palladium One. So hello, Mark. Thank you very much for talking to us again. How are you?
I'm good, Mark. Thank you very much for having me on again.
No, it's a pleasure. I recall last time we spoke about West Pickle, we were talking about one of the holes which had come back with very healthy and encouraging grades, as you said. Anything at 20 metres at 2% is considered very high grade. And we've had some more results. Now, I know we were talking last time as well about the Palladium One doing downhole EM as well. So we'll catch up on this latest press release from Palladium One. Just looking at the RNS, there is obviously a lot of information there. There's a table there full of numbers and results. So could you just take us through this press release from your point of view, of course, as a geologist and a CEO?
Certainly, I will. First of all, let's just reiterate what you said. It continues to be encouraging. And I think I said in the press release, there's cause for reasonable optimism or conservative optimism on the press release. Of course, it's exploration, and there's 20 holes been drilled. I think they've only reported 9 of the holes so far. Several of those do have what could be construed as getting up towards ore grade intersections. The fact that there's more holes to come. Hole 70 was visually reported in one of the previous press releases. We haven't got those results yet, but it certainly looks like hole 70 would be another high-grade intersection. So, of course, we're waiting with bated breath for that one. And I think also it's important, you're right, Mark, there isn't a lot of information in that press release, but the long section shows several things of importance to me. And I think you have to bear with me in so much as the information we get is all generated by Palladium One, not by ourselves. So we're interpreting what's in the public domain just as much as everyone else is. However, having said that, the long section, it's demonstrating 500 meters of mineralization. It's open to the east, it's open to the west. For me, one of the interesting factors is that the plates that they describe, the EM plates, it seems that the ground EM is producing better intersections on that ground EM defined plate than the V10 Max, which was the aerial survey. And of course, we have yet to see the results of the downhole EM. And I think there was an important quote in the press release, or maybe not a quote, but forceful statement, in so much they're saying that the downhole EM will enable them to better target mineralization identified in the current drilling, which of course means that if they know where there's an intersection in the drilling and the downhole EM shows that conductivity to go nearby one of the other holes that didn't hit something, then of course they can target the continuation. And I say there's a very strong cluster of some of the higher grade material in that western ground EM plate. I always get a little bit confused with this long section because it looks to the south, so the west is on the right-hand side. But so we've got it open, we've got it over 500 meters, we've got a lot of encouragement in a small area of the one plate, and more drilling results to come along strike from that plate. So yes, it is, but we are most encouraged.
Okay, good. Well, I believe there's 20 or so holes in total. So yeah, a few more left to come. I think we're just about halfway, if not quite at halfway yet, with 9. I think it's.
Yes, I think there's 9 being reported so far. Reported, yes, yeah. We were expecting 70. Obviously, there's been some delay in the lab, or I can only speculate, or maybe they're having some reassayed. But yeah, 70 is yet to come, and I think 70, and I think also, is it 73 is to the east of that plate, which could extend it further. So yes, There's some potentially nice results yet to come for us.
Excellent. Well, we can await hole 70 there and hole 73, and of course the downhole EM as well, which will be quite telling of the success of this recent drilling program. Just picking up from something else in the press release today, hole 76 drilled to the west of the West Pickle zone. It was quoted in the RNS, this hole tested and interpreted chonolith feeder dike structure, and additional optimism with the proximity of the hole to the North Hemlow claim block. So, can you just explain two things here? First of all, what is the feeder dike? What is a feeder dike, and what is the significance of that? But also, I think specifically with the proximity to the North Hemlow claim block.
Certainly, Mark. I'll try to explain it as well as I can understand it. Okay, feeder dike, by definition, it's the conduit that feeds or the conduit along which the mineralization potentially flows. I think what's important about the intersection that Palladium 1 quoted was, okay, there wasn't any assays associated with it, but there was quite a thickness of ultramafic mafic volcanic rocks, which are typical hosts to nickel sulfide mineralization. And there was a lot of altered breccia, which again is what they're basing their interpretation of this chronolith, this feeder dike on. So without assays, without visible massive sulfides, but with stringers, it's got the ingredients that could lead to or be close to something that might have more relevance in an economic sense. That's the whole sensu stricto, so to speak. However, its setting is it's hard to gauge exactly, but it could be anything from 200 to 500 meters from the boundary of the North Hemlow claim. And the indication that Palladium 1 puts on this chronolith is that it's a northeast southwest trending body, which means it would trend onto our North Hemlow block. So that in itself is really encouraging for us. We've done some work up in the north, but we haven't done as much work yet as we intended to, because we were waiting for the high-res mag survey to be concluded and interpreted. So yes, we'll be putting that together, have no doubt, along with the magnetic survey that we've conducted with this information from Palladium 1.
Okay, excellent. Well, the market can certainly await the remaining assay results there from Palladium 1, and I'm sure you will be echoing whatever press release they put out. Just on the wider picture with First Class Metals, of course, we mentioned earlier that the drill season is now over, and I believe you might actually be heading out to Canada in the next week or so to perhaps think about the next drilling season. So what can you say generally about the wider operations at First Class Metals? And indeed, what is the purpose of your visit out there?
Yes, I am going out. It's a little bit more than 2 weeks, to be honest, Mark. The reason being that Monday I'm heading down to London for Mines and Money. So we have a booth at Mines and Money. So if anyone's in the vicinity and wants to drop by and say hello, then please feel free to do so. As I say, we're Mines and Money Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then 10 days after that, yes, I head out to Thunder Bay with a very defined intent, to be honest. Pulling three of the senior geologists together that have been working on the First Class properties. And we will be doing a 4-day brainstorming session, during which time we will be looking at everything, all the information that we've gained so far this year, be it from remote surveys, from magnetic surveys, geophysics surveys, from the soil and rock chip sampling, or any of the other historic information that we've drawn together, and of course the Palladium 1 material. So we'll be doing an intensive review of the field season with the objective in order to identify where we're going in the upcoming in 2023 field season. So that's the lookalike that we'll be trying to follow.
Excellent. Well, it sounds like certainly a worthwhile trip. Do you think we can catch up after you've returned and maybe get some insights as to what was discussed, maybe give some clues as to what might be coming in the next drilling season?
I would welcome that most emphatically.
Most emphatically. Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Mark Sale, the CEO of First Class Metals, for your time today.
Thank you, Mark. Bye-bye.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programmes at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.